Hello everybody. So let's actually continue with Super Astronaut. So let me actually open it right now. And let me serve it. Okay, our application is there. It's working. Go to login. Go to register. Okay. Our application is up and running. So let's actually continue. In our last video I explained a little bit what is Vuex. In this one we are going to implement it and keep it as a single source of truth for the application. So what we're going to do right now, we have in our state we want to maintain two different variables there. Let's call is login, and by default is false. And actually let's just keep one. Let's add our getters. Get is login, going to send the state, and we're going to return state that is login. Our mutation is going to be changed like let's call login in. Going to save the state, and this one the only going to be doing is state that is login in equal true. And let's create another mutation calling login out, and our state is going to be sent, and it's actually pretty much false. And the actions are really similar. Well, we're going to send it the context, the state of the call log in and log out. Actually, login in is with 1G, sorry for that. Login now, login in, login, log out, and it's going to be context does commit. I'm going to commit the login in, and the other one is going to be commit doing the login out. So we have a login in to verify that the user is already in the application. By default the state is false. Get is login the getter for that particular state. We have it here, and we'll get an error. We have an error here, I don't know why. Oh, this is not a function. Like this. Perfect. Then the mutations, the ones that are changing the login in the state to true or false. We can have one mutation doing the one for all, but let's keep things separate and two different actions executing each one of those mutations. So we have this like this. Perfect. So we have the main structure for the component on the store, and we are going to be using the store to verify whether the user is in. So the idea is, if we are hitting the root and the user is log out, is actually not logging in, we need to redirect the user through the login page. So how we can actually do those kind of changes? and those changes are going to happen in the router. We are going to be using before each in the router. So we're going to change the router a little bit. So right now we're exporting the router by default. So instead of exporting the router, let's create a router object. So it's called const router equal new router with this route. And then at the end, we export default router. We are doing exactly the same thing. The difference that we are keeping a name, because we're going to do some changes to the router before we export the router object. So we're going to add some meta information to the home directory, and that meta information is going to be, we can actually save anything that we want. We can have different variables. It works like a array, pretty much like an object. So we can actually define a key value kind of information. So that meta information is going to be saved for the home directory, and by natural is going to be hereby by all the children. That's what I want. So we're going to create a new meta, and we're going to check this meta every time. And it's called requires authorization. Let's put it like true. So we'll say that the home directory and the main feed requires authorization. And we call it this requires authorization. We can actually put like need be logged in or whatever we want. So let's actually change. Well, everything requires authorization. It's a little more, how can I say, semantic friendly. Let me just go back to my store. Let's actually put logging in, logging out. It's actually double G. Probably it is redundant having twice in logging in, logging out. That sounds a little bit better. And this one needs to be here. Okay, let's go back to the router. So we are sending the meta to here. So what we're going to be doing to the router is router to before each. So before actually enter any route, and we take three different objects: to, from, and next. This is actually where it's going to be sent. This is actually where it came. If it came from the, and next is pretty much the object we need to do to continue the process. So we can actually send it to where it's supposed to go, or we can redirect the user to another place. So this is actually why the next is working, or is supposed to do what it's supposed to do. So this actually need to be, it's actually is like this. So inside is to, from, next, and let's actually do an arrow function. Perfect. And this is going to be validated every time that we're going to go into a specific route. So we can actually console log. Let's see that. We are going to, let's actually send to, we are coming from, and because we are catching the information, we always need to send the next. So this can actually proceed. If we save that, we go into the application, we go to the console. Oh, let's actually do a 2 dot full path, I believe. We are going to home and we're coming from home. So we're doing login. We're coming from root and we're going to login. We can register. We are going to register, but we're coming from login, so we can actually keep record where we are and where we're coming from. So this is actually a really good way to read the two meta tag. And because we have children, this actually hereby this meta tag. So we can actually do something like this. We can do an if-else statement. Let's actually do the if-else. Let's say if 2.matched is to verify some. And this will have a callback to give a true or false. So we'll say that current record have a record meta dot requires authorization. So we'll say if the route have the meta requires authorization to true, we're going to say next path. Let's actually send it to login. Else, just next. What does mean? If it require, it have the requires. This looks complex, but we are matching the two. We have the meta requires authorization. It's a way to compare it and make all this make true or false. If it requires that, we'll send it to login. If not, we just continue. So let's actually go in here. So if we go to register, we're fine. If we go to login, we are fine. But if we go into the route, we're not supposed to be fine. Didn't when we're supposed to drain it. Yes. To from next. To match some record meta requires out. Oh, it requires out. It's like this. We need to remember JavaScript is sensitive. So let's remove this, enter, and you see that actually it sends us back to login. We go to register, we can go to register, we can go to login, because those are public pages, but we cannot go to the home. Let's do the other way around. Let me actually just remove this, comment this out and show you. If we don't have the validation, we go home, we can go home because we send it just next. But if we add that validation, you can see we were sent it to login page, and that's what we want. That's what actually we need to do. So perfect. Now we need to do something extra. We need to check it requires authorization and the user is not logging in. So for verifying that, we need to import the store. And I actually like to import the store here at the end. So import store from, and the store is the same level as the router, so we can use a ./store. Oh, something important to remember. store and router are available inside our component globally, but outside the components, like now, we need to import this. That's why we're importing the store. So we can say if this, and we can say store.getters, and actually let me check my store, how we call the getter to verify we are logging in. Get is logging in, perfect. And it's not, like if this is false, and this we are going to send to the login page. This way we check if the user is logging in. So we go, then we try, we see we cannot go to the route, and we have an issue. This is undefined. Let me go back to my store. They have this. Oh yeah, I put this here. It just stayed directly. That's why I like to have my console open. So I try to go there. Okay, it's not allowing me. Let me force my login into true code. That way, if I can go there, because looking that my state, it take a while to get it. Those state is logging in is actually true. That's why it's letting me in to the application. But by default, we need to have it like false. And keep it as false, we have the redirection to login. Now we have that redirection. We need to tie the login button and the register button, sign up, to log the user in. Let's do that. Now, we are not saving the user, we are not verifying the user yet, but just we're making the flow what it's supposed to. Then we are going to attach to this particular flow and saving the user information. Right now what we're building is actually the structure of the logic of how the login part is going to be working. So let's go back. Let me actually close all this because we have a lot of stuff. Perfect. And let me go to my login page. So we have the login button that we're already pushing. So the only things that we're going to need to do is this, that. Remember, the store is available globally inside a component. So we can say the store, dispatch, something. What are we going to dispatch? Login. Oh. And let's actually say this, do the same for the register. Sign up. So that means, okay, I'm not there. So we passed this. We know that is fake, right? Because we are not validating if that exists or not, doesn't exist. We click login in. Let's look at the Vuex state. Logging in. We execute this mutation, and we're able to get into the application. The only thing missing is getting the login out. How we do that? Really simple. We just copy this. We go into the navbar, because the navbar is the one who has the logout button. And we just paste it and execute dispatch the log out. So when we execute, logging out. Logging in, we can do whatever we need, and the logout is logging out, is making that validation for us. Perfect. Let's verify with registering is actually working. Let me just put fake information. Oh, I need to match this. Sign up, logging in. Perfect. So we can actually do something extra. I believe this is going to be needed for the register. So let's actually go to the store. Let's create another called sign up. Another action. We're going to send the dispatch in this case. Sorry, dispatch the login. And then we have here user is null. We need to have our getter, get user state, return state.user, set user or change. Let's actually put set user state payload, the user equal to payload. Payload is the information going to be sent, and sign up. Let's actually say that sign up. What it does is committing this user and logging in the application. Let's do something like that. And then in our register, instead of login, we're going to do sign up. Just for the concern that through here we just saving the user, logging in. We can log out if we register somebody. We're going to set the user and then log in. That's pretty much how we can keep record and what is going to be changed or doing through the application. And just right now the payload is empty. So actually let's put some ID, one name, some user. So that way, when we register, sign up, our user now have a value because we're saving through the store. So I hope that you like it. Any question, any doubts, don't hesitate to reach me. And see you everybody in the next video. What we're going to be doing now is actually tie up the user authentication through a third party. We're going to be saving actually the user object, and we are going to implement also the login through Google. So happy coding, everybody.